So there has been some really crazy events occur in just the last 7 days in this country that really have a direct bearing on our children, which is something I've talked about in previous podcasts. It's a theme of mine, fatherhood and our children, in addition to respect for women, something that seems to be going nowhere. Anyway, I'm Roy Arthur. This is my unbelievable reality, and right now it is so fucking unbelievable. I want to start off though with the changes to the Department of Education, the partnerships with the Department of Education that have just been announced by the Trump regime, that have just massive bearing on every parent that has a child 12 through K through 12 still in school. Partnering up with the Heritage Foundation, Turning Point USA, Moms for Liberty as educational advisors. As educational advisors to shape federal policy for the Department of Education, to turn all of our schools into a form of a religious environment, to forward that message. Now, it goes deeper than that. Not only are they going to change curriculums to enforce a white Christian nationalist dogma, whether you want them to or not, in addition to what's going on with charter schools, etc. But this is going to morph into a criteria in the AI social media age, wherein this is going to affect college placement as well. Think about this. The data is available for the government now to decide whether you're pro or against. I personally am super grateful that my kids are no longer in the public school system. I only have one left in higher education. I've talked about that in previous podcasts, and just the struggle I'm having there with answering the questions of what is tomorrow going to look like with AI. I mean, what degrees are going to have longevity? How am I going to make a living? How am I ever going to buy a house? How do I even finance a car? Nobody teaches finance in high school anymore. Isn't that fucking interesting? Home ec and finance out the fucking window. But now we're going to be teaching the 10 Commandments. And now we are going to be having school prayer. Whether you are Christian or not, that's what will be happening. To our Department of Education that is supposed to be non-biased and non-political and only concerned with the betterness, the education of our children and wellness and well-being of our children. Additionally, last week we had another school shooting, Evergreen, Colorado. That's number 47 for the year. 47 for the year. 47. It's September. Today's birthday day for me, by the way. We'll play a game later, decide how old I am, and please send me a comment and let me know. I should have dated myself thoroughly by now, but I'm dying to see if anybody notices. So that's one thing that happened. In addition, here's another thing that's really super interesting. I've made my position on the platforms totally clear in regards to the Palestinian issue and what's going on in Gaza. If I haven't made that clear enough on this podcast, I would like to reiterate my position. It is a horror. It is an absolute, unjustifiable, insane slaughter on a scale that we have not witnessed this up close and personal in recent history. It seems like the world of capitalism and empire, no matter how you slice it, is always about one thing, and that's about a body count. And that's about eradication of other societies and ethnic groups that don't somehow fit our perspective of what is acceptable. 235 American delegates, congressmen, and senators from the United States government went to Israel for this festival thing that's happening tomorrow, where they're going to be slaughtering cows and weeping with ashes and wailing at a wall. And I don't even fucking know. I don't believe in mythology, but these people do. But 235 of our representatives went to that country and gave tacit approval and acknowledgement for the entire world to see that we are okay with that. We are okay with genocide. We are all right with it. What message are we sending to our children? What message in these two examples, these two events, these two occurrences in the last week, what are we saying to the future generations of this country? What is this twisted message? And what do we expect? We are going into a period of time that is so off the charts, unparalleled, it's impossible to describe, and yet we as a species continue to practice the same behaviors, and therefore we're passing it along to our children. The United States was built on one foundational principle that was always huge, and they did this for a reason when they wrote the Constitution, because these people were from Europe, and they remembered what happens when church and state get mixed. It never ends well. It ends in war, religious wars. There's a reason why there's a clear definition between church and state in our Constitution. This country was not founded as a Christian country. It was founded as a white supremacist country, no doubt about it. But the religiosity of the founders tended more to secularism than Christianity, by far. Specifically, they tried to put a noose around Christianity to keep it in place. Those days are long past. This is going to be doctrine. This is going to be taught in our schools. We can't afford to feed our children in school. No free school lunch, right? What's that like in lower economic class school districts? But we're going to teach them how to read the Ten Commandments and to obey the Bible? A book, by the way, once again, another piece of mythology that nobody really even can understand because none of it makes any fucking sense. And then we move on to the memorial for the soon-to-be, already been martyred Charlie Kirk. You can't actually say anything bad about this person online or otherwise without fear of censorship or retaliation, but I'm going to say this. What a sham. What a joke. What an outright call on the right for violence against anyone that doesn't happen to be a member of the megalopolis or a white Christian nationalist. And if you want to see, Hillary Clinton said this back up a decade ago. She called the MAGA party the deplorables.
You know, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right?
I'm super sorry, I happen to agree. Stupidity does not need to be applauded. Repeating sound bites doesn't make you smart. If you really want to know who these people really are, pull up on Google garbage left behind after Charlie Kirk Memorial. Google the garbage left behind after the memorial and look at the pictures. And this will tell you everything there is to know about what this party is. Turning this Charlie Kirk is never going to be anybody He's not Martin Luther King. He's not Abraham Lincoln. He's not Malcolm X. He is not Mahatma Gandhi. He is not the second coming of Christ. He's so far away from Christianity, it's ridiculous. But boy, doesn't it sell well. And his grieving widow, could they have drafted that, found that character at Universal Studios any more clearly? We need a stereotype here. 100% stereotype that's going to howl and scream to our white Christian nationalist movement, which is affecting our children. Now, I don't know anything about this kid that actually did this, pulled the trigger, supposedly, other than that he came from a mega family. He's a conservative right wing. Period. The end. To the bone. Bone bred to the bone. Trying to twist Charlie Kirk's words into somehow saying that he was a passionate speaker or a great debater. No, sorry. Let's just be truthful. Words mean exactly what they said. They meant exactly what he said. You don't get a coat it with anything to obfuscate the words that were said. Look them up. Top 10 Charlie Kirk quotes. Once again, Google it. Black pilot, gotta think twice about getting on the aircraft.
So then I said, boy, if I see a black pilot, I'm now going to wonder, is that individual qualified, or were they selected because of their race?
Oh, right, the black fire chief in LA, she must have been a DEI hire. What are you talking about? His 10-year-old daughter gets raped. He says he would force her to have the baby.
You had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped. And she was going to give birth and she would, no, wait. Oh, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
It's no, but it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
That's a fact. In a debate, and they're trying to martyr this person. This is the face of your movement. This is the dirty underbelly of America. That is no longer the underbelly. Now it is the America that the entire world sees. 150 nations just came together to recognize Palestine as a country, which had already been done, but apparently everybody forgot it. The country that didn't was us. I could go down this conspiracy wormhole here for the rest of my fucking life, but truth be told, this right-wing movement, by the way, sidebar, this is global. This white nationalist right-wing movement is global. This is a global phenomenon. Nationalism is out of control. And it's because of the demographic change in the world. And that's a reality that's unstoppable. So this is not just an American condition. It's just here. Here we're cooking with gas on a much bigger level, at a higher level, deeper layer, to a much bigger receptive audience. If you're a parent right now, and you're even somewhat rational, I don't want to pick sides. I don't. The Democrats are in Israel just like the Republicans are. This isn't just a Republican Party. It's just they managed to put all this hatred and anger together in one more cohesive block. But it's our government as a whole is rotten to the core. And now the stars have aligned, and the worst of us is driving the bus. We're defunding everything. We're slashing regulations. We're charging ahead with pollution. Why is nobody talking about the children? What about the future generations. None of this mythical bullshit about if they believe in God, they'll be all right. Fuck that. If they can't breathe the air or drink the fucking water, they die. This is a zero-sum game. But this is the world we currently live in. Like I said, today for me is birthday day. It's the end of another decade, and I've seen more than a few, and I can honestly say that the changes in the last decade of my life have been more significant and profound than anything leading up to it. Last decade of my life started right before Trump came down that fucking escalator. And from that point on, it's been one thing after another, and now it's all culminating in what I believe is a pivotal moment for this country. I'm not a historical scholar, I'm a bit of a philosopher. I don't have solutions for this, but if you're a parent, you gotta show up at the school boards. You gotta be looking at who's getting elected to these positions. You need to be going and meeting your principals, and you need to know what curriculum they're teaching at your schools. If you're a parent of a college student who's looking to finance their education, you better be picking very, very carefully about what degree they're choosing to pursue, and you better be really, really non-political in your own shit, so that there's not something out there in social media so all of a sudden your application for student financing mysteriously got declined. That's next. Culture wars have taken over the identity of this country, and I'm so fearful for our children. I keep saying, I'll say it over and over again, as a dad, my job is to protect my children, is to be out in front of them and to give them good guidance. And this is such a fucking mess. It's an absolute disaster that I have no idea what that guidance would be. I'm Roy Arthur. This is Unbelievable Reality Podcast. Hey, check me out on Instagram, Substack. Like, share, comment, subscribe, follow. Come on, give me some feedback. What are your thoughts? What are you doing with your kids? I will be talking at you soon.